Chris here from White Bulls Barbecue. If it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. If it's not, welcome back. Today we're gonna be doing a hot and fast brisket. When I say hot and fast, I mean like 6 to 7 hours. Traditionally you do a brisket, it's 10 to 12 to 15 to 18, it can get wild. So today we have a 16 pounder. I just trimmed it up. I just hit it with that White Bulls Barbecue, the rub for beef. There is the link right there. Link will always be below as well in the description. This thing, I'm gonna give you a look at it. It's looking good, it's seasoned up nice. We let it set for about a half hour to an hour at room temperature so it could sweat out, sweat in, pack that flavor in for this 6-hour cook virtually. We're gonna go 250 the first hour, then we're going 275 the rest of the way. Let's jump into it. Okay, so as you can see, it's seasoned up nice. This thing is looking good, gonna be delicious. Dow Strong, link will be below for that as well. Trim this thing up nice. And again, the rub for beef. It's been a while since we did a brisket video, guys. Get this rub and thank me later. That's ready to throw in the smoker. Let's do it. $250 the first hour, $275 the rest of the way. All right, so we're about an hour in at 250. We're gonna spritz it for the first time using only water. The reason that we do that is because we wanna give the smoke something to grab onto and start building bark, even though we're going a little faster. And then once you crank it right now at this hour mark, the 275, we're gonna spritz every half hour until we wrap it. So let's hit it, and then let's crank it. It's also important not to over spritz. You don't want to add too much moisture, just the right amount. Couple layers, let it smoke. This is our third spritz. Alright guys, we are 3 hours in, which means we're now 2 hours into 275. Let's take a look and hit it with a spritz. You're starting to get slight curlage, but that's okay. We're gonna spin this in a half hour. See you then. Alright guys, so it's really important to try to keep this closed because we want to build as much bark as we can. I know that I tell you to open it quite a few times to spritz it, but that's a get in and get out. Spritz it real quick, not too heavy, put your bottle down, close it, leave it closed. We're trying to build as much bark as we can. I'm not even going to probe this. This is another point. Don't probe this. Probe it once you're ready to put it into foil. And I'm going to say on this cook, we're going 250 the first hour, 275 the rest of the way. 4.5 hours, you should have enough bark. You should definitely be able to wrap it, and I'm gonna guess it'll be around 165. So at 4.5 hours, I'm gonna wrap it, and then from there, we're gonna take it to 200, rest at 2 hours, and we should be looking at a 7 to 8 hour thing, including rest. So we're gonna see how this looks in an hour, and maybe we'll go from there. We're at the 3 hour mark now. Let's go. Okay, we're at the 4.5 hour mark. We're not even gonna probe this until we put it in this pan, because if it starts losing juice, it's gonna stay in the pan. We are gonna wrap foil over this for the last hour and a half or so of this cook. Let's see what this is looking like. Jiggling up real nice for 4.5 hours. Let's take a closer look. I'm gonna wrap this, we're gonna throw it back on. Don't forget, we're rolling at 275. Before we wrap it, we're gonna probe it and see where it's at. Perfect. 172. Perfect. You know what? We're not even gonna wrap this. Let's go. No wrap. It's going right back on just like that. Let's do it. Point side to the left. So we just hit the 6 hour mark, guys, and I'm looking at this thing. I'm probing it. It's 185, 186. So for the last half hour, hit it with a wrap. You've got your desired bark for hot and fast. This is gonna be amazing. So I'm pulling it at 5:30. I started it at 11 a.m. We're gonna rest it until about 7 p.m. and I guarantee you we're gonna be cutting into some butter. Can't wait to do it. I'll see you on the cutting board. Let's go. Okay, barbecue fam, 6.5 hours in, 275, 250 for the first hour. Probing at 205 and feeling like butter. Time to rest this for 1.5 hours. We're gonna slice it, and that'll take us to 8 hours done, even with the rest. Here it is. Virtually a 7 and/or 8 hour brisket. What do you think of that? The bark looks incredible. You're talking about something we did 250 for an hour, 275 for the rest of the way. We wrapped it at the 4.5 hour mark. We pulled it around the 7 hour mark, and we rested it for an hour. So this is about a 7 or 8 hour process. It might vary for you, but that's about what we're dealing with. We got our quantum down strong. We're about to just slice it in the middle. Usually I don't, but I want to give you guys the full effect of this hot and fast brisket right now. Again, the bark looks incredible. I actually bring this a little bit closer for you. That's a 7 hour brisket right now. That's a D-rub for beef brisket right there, and it's super tender. The bark is nice. No more talking, let's get right into it. I think we got some butter. Wow. Wow. Alright guys, so we're talking about a 7 hour brisket, 1 hour rest. This is something from your point. It's time for us to dig in. Like, we're hungry. Here's the bark, 7 hours, 250 for the first hour, 275 the rest of the way. Put it in a pan at 165. Look, you got pot roast. Your boy would never steer you wrong. Let's get it. That's your result after 7 hours. The point is not perfectly rendered, but it's really good. I would give this like an 8 out of 10, guys. If you're in a jam for time, you can get nice bark, great flavor. Not the super tenderest brisket, but definitely juicy and flavorful. Look at that. All right, I'm out.
White Bulls Barbecue, the best damn barbecue ever.